I'm having like a senile moment here and we're live into this game. I have no idea what's going on, but I'm going to cast it as though it's live until someone tells me it's not. Right, I've been told the match is definitely live. So here we go. 1-1 is the scoreline. And Infused on the T side are going to be pushing through aggressively. Dominate in the smoke gets himself a frag though. And when you see a smoke like that, there should definitely be a couple red alarm and red lights going off. That things aren't quite right with the world. 2-2 scenario. Infused with definitely the better weaponry and the more health points. For a few moments, Quicks does do quite a lot of damage to Red Snake with the Deagle. And there's Kinder to pick up the final frag. So Team Infused with the early advantage here. So with that early 2-1, you got Critical now with an AWP, which that's a very early pickup. And we saw how devastating he was on Cash. And I have every right to believe that he's going to be just as potent on Dust 2. It's in full eco from Publiclir, so they've stacked 3 players on long. Again, they've gone for this same tactic of Dominate, just chilling in the smoke, and he's been sprayed down finally. Deagle Blaze pulled out there. And here's Hadship with the P250 doing work at long range with it. Gets himself a kill, tags up a couple more players, but now it's a 3-on-4. And Publiclir are fairly low, so they have to scamper away. That's a lovely one tap from HudsG onto Quicks, who is on the site. The score is 1-0, guys, to Publiclir. They won Cash. And now it's all on Hadship with 25 HP and a P250. Critical still at T-spawn. I think Hadget knows this. So his mission right now isn't to save this round, it's just to kill that AWP, pick it up, and take it home for himself. And judging by the position, he's going to do just that. Lines it up, takes down Critical with some very strange ragdoll effects. I think it's like it disappeared into the wall there for a couple of seconds. But that AWP is going to get taken away, and now the terrorists are just desperate to take it back for themselves. It's ring around the roses, past the parcel with the AWP. Hadshit moving into tunnels as a player to his right hand side, and he's gonna get the kill onto Aaron as well. What a shot that was! And this again, I'm getting deja vu from Cash. Okay, I was about to say this is getting very, very expensive. Did he get that AWP? I think he missed out on picking the AWP up. Oh man, he missed picking up the AWP. That is going to hurt right in the feels. Ruben, did you just say the overlay shows the map score? Okay, cool. So you should see somewhere on the map that it is 1-0 to Publiclir. Alrighty, so here we go. Critical with another AWP, so they had to go back deep into the pocket. And yeah, he didn't pick that AWP up. That's pretty huge. Pretty huge. Regardless, though, Team Infused did get the round, so all things considered, you know, I was getting sidetracked with the AWP battle, the AWP quest. Publiclir still find themselves at a 3-1 discrepancy, and it could soon become 4-1 because this T side of Infused has been really potent so far. It has been pushing through, it has been getting frags, all the entries going in the favour of the Terrorists, and they win with a flawless round. 3 frags for HudsG, 2 for Kinder, and Team Infused winning that 5th round with a bang. So here we go. It's going to be eco for Publiclir. Got CZs, a couple of Kevlars thrown in the mix as well, and it seems they're going to have to fend off this onslaught on towards B. Hadget gets one, gets a second as well. Very nicely done. Can he manage to get a third? Nope, he gets chased down. And there's only 2 players remaining for the CTs. That's Dominate and that is all. Or in CT spawn with the CZ. And Dominate with a 5-7 coming around the back of HudsG. Picks up that frag, gets the AK-47 in his hands. The bomb still hasn't been planted from Infused. I'm very, very confused right now. I was talking there, assuming the bomb was going to get planted on B. They haven't done it. So the CTs are still in this round. This should have been retake scenario. The T's are going back to B site once again. It's take 2 for them. But in doing so now, they've given this very much away in terms of where they're pushing. Or knows exactly what's coming up. He opens up with the CZ, drops Kinder to 13 HP. The bomb's been planted, finally, from Team Infused, but is it too little too late? Because here comes the retake in effect. Both players very healthy on hit points. Or 10 bullets remaining to him, but they walk into a crossfire, and Dominate gets picked off. There's Or. He has such little CZ bullets left, and he gets headshotted down from critical. 5-1 for Infused, but that was a real shaky round for them. And Publiclir will probably feel like they had a pretty good shot there at clawing that round back. However, because they've been on eco a few rounds and because of the round loss bonus, here comes the AWP on the hands of Dominate. We didn't really see him using the weapon on Cash at all. Opting more for the assault rifles, but Dust 2, I feel you definitely need an AWP. It's pretty key to victory on this map. So much so that a lot of teams will go for a double AWP setup, so let's see if Publiclir end up running with that later on in the game, if their economy builds up to such a level. But this is a great start for Infused. They've got the foundations now to build from after losing the first map 16-12. See Dominate there with the AWP, tried to make something happen through mid. I'm not sure if he caught on Red Snake, who's now down to 39. I would suggest he probably did. Critical, pushing in first with the AWP. How ballsy are you? Renamed to Rambo, that was ridiculous. He takes point with AWP and gets completely caught. I realized he wanted to get the opening pick, but Jesus, that was way too aggressive. And he gets punished. And with that, the AWP's dropped in no man's land. The CTs could even pick this one up for themselves if they wanted to. And Team Infused only have 38 seconds to play with, so they're going to be bottlenecking into short and trying to rush through onto this now. Here comes a Molotov. All the CTs have to do is lay in wait. There's Zitta from back of sight, and that's a beautiful flashbang on the terrorist. Hits all three of them square in the face, and it's going to stop their push for a few more seconds. And meanwhile, that's allowing the CTs to get in close proximity. But there's a lovely one-tap from HUDG. And now the push onto A is real. It's all on Or. He's been caught and his head gets removed from his shoulders. Quicks gets picked off as well from HUDG, who gets the 3-man that round. And Publiclir are crumbling. That should have been theirs. It was a 4-on-3. They're pushing on the site. That flashbang landed. They had 35 seconds remaining for the terrorists to make a play. And Publiclir lose from that position. That is pretty huge. So, Infused. Confidence oozing through their veins. 6-1 up. Ecoed up Swedish team against them. And they are getting the opening picks once again. Not too surprising here because Publiclir have to play aggressive with the pistols to try and get some information and potentially a couple cheeky frags and then pick the weapons up. So I totally understand their mentality here. But Infused, they're obliging and kind. Aaron's down to 2 HP. He did have some help, but again, Critical, caught in mid, loses his AWP. HUDG gets the frag onto Dominate as he tries to push through long, getting some information. Or he's there with a CZ. Can he get the headshot? No, he can't. He gets dropped, but here comes Zitta. And suddenly, in the blink of an eye, it's down to a one-on-one scenario. HUDG up against Zitta. HUDG has been performing very solidly on Dust 2. If there's a guy you'd want to go to, it's probably him. He's top fragging with 11 for 3. 33 seconds remaining, and he's been spotted, and Zitta does just about get the spray down. I thought for a second there he'd whiffed that opportunity, but it's now 2-6. And Critical, I think he's gone for like 3 AWPs in a row and died the last 2 rounds. That's so much money is being burnt to pick him up those AWPs, and he has got 8 frags, so it's been working for him. But there is HUDG, the top fragger, the talisman for the Infused here on Dust 2, silenced, eviscerated from Dominate's AWP as it rings out. And now the AK work from Red Snake and Aaron is proving to be huge. Dominate lands a second frag. Did he catch the third play on Critical? I think he did. But, well, Critical still gets the frag. I was about to say, Dominate probably doesn't want to go ahead and try and challenge him. And then one of his teammates does and gets punished. CTs, though, Or's in such a good position. The pop flash to perfection. Gets the double spray down. Beautiful teamwork. He gets picked off himself. But he gives Publiclir a chance to get their 3rd round on the board. And it's down to Dominate and Kinder. Kinder has the bomb. And 53 seconds. So if he just plays the time and tries to mind game out Dominate, there's every chance he can do this. He smokes CT spawn trying to fake that he'd push through mid onto B, but it missed. The smoke did not land. And in doing so, Dominate knows he didn't cross. But it doesn't seem to matter because he's backing away and he backs into the crosshairs of Kinder, who gets his second kill and takes it 7-2. This map has been so strange. There's been huge plays and a lot of misplays as well. Publiclir, who looks so confident on Cash, just looking in shambles right now on their CT side. Just absolute shambles. Oh my goodness. I was just about to say Critical spraying through that smoke with the AWP. Well, you can't really spray through an AWP, but tapping through the smoke with an AWP. It'd be pretty OP if you could spray with an AWP, to be fair. I guess there is an auto sniper that serves a similar purpose. But he gets it anyway in the second time, and it's a force buy for the CTs who are just desperate to rack up some rounds. They have the round loss bonus coming in, so they can afford to force buy pretty much every single round, but the problem is that they reset it a couple rounds ago. They broke the 6-round losing streak, won a round, and then instantly lost again. So, round loss bonus won't be incoming for a little while for them. At this point, it's just desperate plays. Desperate times call for desperate measures. That is a fantastic shot from Moore, though. Onto Critical. Out sniping him. And you can see that no one's interested in picking up that AWP from Team Infused because they're going for the jugular. This is something they lacked wholeheartedly on Cash. But it seems like that's going to be a one-tap from the 5-7, brings it back onto a 3-on-3, but the T's have managed to force their way onto the site, planting for short as well, where Kinder is currently resided. Two players going to be pushing up short, though, right on top of Kinder. The third, with Dominate, jump-shotting with the 5-7. Red Snake is now boosted on top of that box, waiting for him to jump up one more time. He's daring him to, and Orr picks up the AWP. That was ignored from the terrorist. He doesn't connect the dots in the first time of asking him, but it's down to another 1v1. Last time, Zitta got the upper hand onto Hud's G, I believe it was. That Molly forces the terrorist out of play, and in doing so, opens up the site. He obliges in kind. He will have enough time to defuse that as well, because he has the kit. And Publiclir pick up their third round by the skin of their teeth, but it's so important that they start to get some momentum on the board. They can't afford to lose again, otherwise they'll be back into force buy territory. Make the most of this opportunity, Publiclir. Team Infused with a force buy of their own, realising that the economy's weak on the Swedes. I want to break this. And to be fair, Tech 9 rushes on Dust 2 are incredibly potent and very scary to deal with. So I fully understand and support this decision from Team Infused, who are going to be running with it through short. I'm not sure this is the best option, but let's see if it pays off for them. It is so far. 1-for-1 trade that will favour the terrorists. The problem is that Zitta is still alive on the site, and he is still spraying down with the M4. He gets picked off, 2v3, but Hudg is very low. Bombs being planted from Kinder in the meanwhile. Now Hudg is going to do some work with that M4. Lovely play from him. There's still a 2-on-2 that you'd expect the CTs to pick up from this situation. There is the first of potentially two. Kinder's caught between two players. He opens up with a Tech 9, gets a lovely headshot of his own, back onto the M4 with a grenade, and all he has to do now is play the time. He gets pushed in! Unbelievable play from Kinder to get the 1v2 clutch and infuse their 8th round. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Kinder will be feeling phenomenal right now. And that's around Publiclir. I'm sorry, they should be winning that every single time. Gives Infused the 8th round, forces Publiclir again. As I said, it was so important they got this momentum on the board. It forces them back into a buy that they simply did not want to be in. And now you can see the terrorists are just pushing on. It's a 3-on-3 once again. Hatchet is in a good position with this CZ. We've already seen he can do work with it. There's the first one, looking for the second. Can't connect the dots. And yet another round goes down to the wire. Zitta with the CZ frag. Kinder, the clutch master, is looking for his second consecutive 2v1 clutch. Unbeknownst to him though, Dominate is coming from behind with the Deagle. Deagle and an AWP. Oh, he misses the AWP shot. He whiffs the op shot. He gives his position away now, pushing through the flashbang. Is he going to make amends for that miss? And he does just about make the most of it, but jeez. I bet his heart fell through his ass there when he missed that op shot. That would have been a brutal round for them to lose after losing that 2v1 clutch. They'd have been full on tilt mode, pushing that self-destruct button, I'm sure. Team Infused, though, again, going to be running with the Tech 9s. Last time they forced this up, they did win the round in that sick 1v2 clutch, but this time they have lost an early casualty in the form of Dominate's AWP onto Critical. Quicks with a nice little spray across from lower tunnels, quickly pushes into the situation, and maybe Team Infused have telegraphed this a couple too many times and made it predictable, because Publiclir seemed to completely call that one right from the playbook. Can never count out Hudg. He's got lots of HP at his name, doesn't have any utility, and doesn't have any life left because there's Dominate for his second AWP frag of the round. So, Team Infused, once again, because of that force buy on Tech 9s, are back to Eco, and they can afford to do this. They've already got 8 rounds on T-side, and this is an interesting map. A lot of people feel this is T-sided. I personally do think it's CT-sided still, but it's definitely a map that's up in the air. It's not a nuke, for example. It's not a guaranteed, like, 13-2, 12-3 scoreline on CT side. A good, powerful T-side can make rounds happen out of nothing. And we've seen that from Infused, who have been a revelation so far in Dust 2. Been a lot of fun to watch. A lot of explosive strats. I wouldn't necessarily say it's necessarily been down to huge, like, set pieces. I think it's been mainly down to just timing pushes and aim, which is typically the most exciting Counter-Strike to watch from a neutral perspective. That's not knocking their strats or anything, because they have executed those strats to perfection. The reason why I'm kind of waffling on to myself is because it was pretty much around you're expecting Publiclir to win. I say that, but Hudg with some last minute heroics nearly makes that another interesting one. And the idea there was to save up so they could buy big for the last round, which is where we find ourselves now. Round 15, Team Infused eyeing up the 9-6 half-time scoreline. Publiclir desperately wanting to get the 7th on the board. Another AWP in the hands of Critical, so I'm actually going to jump onto his perspective and watch him as he tries to get some players on the cross. Misses 2 shots there. Well, I say miss, actually connected the second one, but knocked Dominate down to 18 because it was through the wooden door. Would have been a kill if that door wasn't in the way. And in doing so, Dominate has to put his tail between his legs and just run away for dear life. So you can't count Publiclir out, is what I'm trying to say. If they've got a strong T side, every chance they can bounce back into this game. It's going to be tough, but there is the Leaning Tower of Swedes. And they get the frag there through the smoke onto Red Snake. Critical does return fire though with the AWP. That's going to keep this round interesting. A minute to play with. We've already seen the explosive prowess of Team Infused in the last 30 seconds. They can definitely pull themselves together and just go out for broke. And just rush in. Rushing through along here are Infused, but they do get found out. Or takes 39 HP worth in damage, but he's looking for some more kills. He's hungry for blood. Well, that bloodlust does not continue through in this round. Critical now pushing with the Glock, has picked himself up 3 frags. He's on for the ace as well. He's got himself 4 frags. What a time to step up to the plate. That smoke wasn't fantastic, and there's Critical with the ace. AWPing everybody. I think that was 4 AWP kills and 1 Glock kill. Awesome plays, and that's the reason they saved in the 14th round, was to allow Critical the AWP. And boy did he deliver. 15 for 11 for him, 18 for 11 for Hudg, and 15 for 10 for Kinder. So 3 players really standing tall, but the same could be said for Publiclir as well. It goes to show how close this match has been, that there's no huge discrepancies between the two teams in terms of kills. This has been a really fun game to cast, I've got to say. A lot of people were saying, you know, these guys aren't tier 1, it's going to be boring. No, if anything, the lower tier teams often provide more entertainment because there's an element of the unknown factor coming in here. It's a platform to allow these teams and these players to really shine and show what they're capable of doing. And so far, you've got to say that Critical has been taking that opportunity with both hands. Here we go again. The USP now coming in. He's looking for a third kill, and he gets it as well. And that will be the defuse. And one of the keys to victory, I was going to say, for Publiclir on this map is even though they're not dead and buried just yet, there's 6 rounds going through to the T side, they really needed that pistol. That pistol was of paramount importance. And now they've lost that, they're eyeing up a 12-6 sort of scoreline in the face. So, slow, steady push in from Publiclir. They're not going to bother to force buy this round. They're just upgrading a couple pistols, playing for the long game. I like that. Some teams would get carried away and desperation would kick in. But even with this force buy of just upgraded weapons, they are getting frags and they're getting that bomb planted. So that's going to bolster their weaponry going forward. Team Infused should be able to retake this one with fairly comfortable fashion. But they're losing players. And maybe there is another chapter to be written here on Dust 2. Publiclir are bouncing back with a vengeance with this tight onto B, and that is going to be sending alarm bells to Team Infused going forward into these latter rounds, because if they can take it with upgraded pistols, can they do anything else? But no, it's not going to happen, because Aaron just jumps in with his FAMAS and gets 2 kills, but I don't think he's got enough time. It's going to be so close. Has he got it? He's got it just by the skin of his teeth. Aaron with a clutch that I was not expecting to come out. I was already writing Infused off. I was saying Publiclir, they've bounced back. It's happened. But then Aaron says, shut up, Vince. I've got this in the bag, mate. With like a millisecond to spare. Unbelievable, Aaron. Take a bow. That is highlight-worthy stuff. There's a part of me that wants to say, you know, Publiclir let that one slip, but I'm going to take nothing away from Aaron. That was fantastic play. Aaron does get picked off first in this round. Remember, that was an eco as well from Publiclir, so there are some positives for them to take away, albeit on a pretty sour note, because that should have been a round. It should now be going for 7-10. And what I was going to say is, I'll hold that thought because we're going to see action right now. Or, and Red Snake going at it. Both players low, they line up, but it's still a 1v1. In this scenario, you're fancying Kinder, though. Look at that. The discrepancy in HP is real. 13 compared to 100. One bullet will seal it onto Ore. Then again, if he can get the AK-47 trained to the forehead of Kinder, who knows? Here's my GoTV lagged. It did for a split second, but it's back, and Kinder does get the kill and secures the 12-6 scoreline. What I was going to say there, I did touch upon it briefly, is one of the alarm bells that will ring for Team Infused is that a team with P250s and like a Tech 9 was able to take B so convincingly. And yes, they ended up throwing away the round in the end, or, well, it depends how you look at it, or Aaron just pulled off a sick play. But maybe that will be a highlighted, exposed weakness now from Publiclir, that they fancy B is ripe whenever they so choose. So don't be too surprised to see a couple B pushes in here from Publiclir. They're back onto an eco, onto upgraded pistol territory, and so far so good for them. 1-for-1 trade's pretty solid. They've tagged Critical down low. There's Red Snake. And that could be some of the hopes for the Swedes here in round 19. Somewhat falling by the wayside. Aaron's in a really precarious position though, caught out in the open. Thank God for Critical from his perspective. But there's Hatchet with a double with a Tech 9. Both of them headshots. Oh my dear God, the Tech 9 has proved itself to be the king of all weapons on this map. We've seen some crazy Tech 9 plays. I think Kinder got a 1v2 clutch before. Now Hatchet's trying to channel his in the Kinder, but he's going to have to go 2 better with this 1v4 scenario. He has an M4 as well, and he's got the first kill. Does he know where Kinder is? Has he made any noise? No. But he's going backwards and forwards, and Hatchet gets it! He gets the clutch! 2 frags with the Tech 9, 2 with the M4. And we've had another sick play. Aaron, whatever you can do, Kinder can do. And so can Hatchet. 12-7. My mind is blown. Whew. It's getting hot in here. We've got to pause, and that's a good time for me to take a drink, guys. So Jeez, what a match we've had for you this evening. A lot of people fancied that Publiclir would walk away with this game, but all credit to Team Infused, who are digging in deep after losing that first map. If you did just join us, it went to Publiclir 16-12 in the end on Cash, which was their choice of map. We're now over to Infused, which was... Dust 2 was their choice, I should say. And Inferno will be the third map, if we need it. Alrighty. Well, I'm not sure what the pause is all about, but hopefully it'll be gone soon enough. Let's look at the scoreboard. Let's have a look at who the movers are and who is really carrying their team to victory. Critical 23 for 14. A lot of those have been with Yorp. Hatchet 22 for 17. Picked up 4 kills in that last round, so really starting to explode here towards the business end of Dust 2. 21 frags for HUDG, 18 for Kinder, 14 for Dominate, and I'm not sure who the 5th player is that we need to get to reconnect here. Apparently there's some admin things that need to be sorted out here on the server. There's Zitty, he's coming back now. So I'm curious, chat, who do you think is going to win this map? Are we going to get a third map? Are Infused going to walk away with this one? Or do you think Publiclir still have some life left in them? Let me know in the chat. I'd be very interested to read up what you guys think. I'm going to call it right now. I could see this going down to like a 16-14, potentially even overtime scenario. It's going to be so close. This is going to be a crucial round. Because on paper, Publiclir should have this. If Infused win it, Publiclir are back onto force. Buy! This is a jumping shot with the scout. I think HUDG got the first one as Dominate dropped into the pit. But there is the ult ringing out from Long. And that is going to send shivers down the spine of Infused. But they are answering back with a P250 frag. Here comes Hatchet, the guy who's hot off that last clutch. And he's going to have to go for another one here. In another potential 1v4 scenario. He's picked up the first kill. He's got an M4. He's got 45 seconds, the bomb and utility. This is one of the best situations you could be in a 1v4. Everything is in his favour to an extent. But he's walked into the crosshair of Aaron, who's been a beast himself, and given his position away. And now the element of surprise is no longer with him. He's being flanked from behind. Kinder is coming in very quickly with a 5-7. Other 2 players are stacked on A, waiting for that cross. There's a frag, but there's the problem. Once you give your position away, the crossfires will be on you. And Infused pick up that round, and I said it would be huge. You can see now the economy from Publiclir is terrible. And that was a force buy of a scout and a few 5-7s, I believe, picked up the 20th round for Infused. I see a lot of Infused in chat, so you guys think they're going to take this one home. I can see that. I can definitely see that, especially after the last round that we just saw that. For those of you asking what the score is, guys, check on the screen to the right, just above the CT side. You can see that Publiclir 1, Infused 0. An overlay from our lovely Ruben that was put into the game, just for you guys asking. But maybe Publiclir are going to bounce back here. We've seen so many full buy / ecos win out on Dust 2 that I don't even know what real life is anymore. I am completely lost for words. And it is going to be just that. The terrorists have picked up the bomb. They've ran to A. They've got a few entries. And it's been planted. And now Kinder and Critical, who have weaponry between them that's worth towards $6,000 or $7,000 at least. They just want to save this. Well, more like $7,000 to $8,000. 4.7k for the AWP. 3.2 for the M4 plus the 5.7 and the armor on Kinder. That equates to a lot of money. What is Ord doing? He's just playing with his food, just kind of chilling out in mid, doing jumps, and he got punished there with Critical's AWP shot. Terrorists, are they going to push in? There's no need, they don't have time to anyway now, so Infused will keep those weapons going forward, and that's 2 pretty big weapons. So that may put Infused, the rest of Infused, into a force buy scenario to try and bolster up their defenses, and that's what's going to happen here. The AWP is going to be accompanied by 3 5.7s plus armors and the M4 that Kinder saved from last round. Who's Ruben? Ruben is our producer, or Rauben as he's known in chat. It's really confusing because his name's Ruben, but his like gaming name's Rauben. He's special like that, you see, he's Dutch. Anyway, terrorists are pushing in. That flash was perfection. And they get a 1-for-1 trade. I'm sure they were hoping for more than that. That pop flash destroyed the terrorist push. There's a grenade. Kobe on top of Red Snake, who jumped on top of that grenade, I think, trying to save the rest of his team. And unfortunately for him, it was not a dud, it was a live grenade, and he gets killed. Team Infused on the retake. Are we going to see another save from Kinder and Critical? These weapons are becoming antiques. They've been around for so long. And indeed they will save. They're giving up the site. Aaron is looking for entry frags with the 5.7, which is the least expensive weapon out of the 3 that they have, so it's understandable that he'd be playing that role. There's Kinder. Critical, I should say, sorry. Both start with K, my bad. Critical with the AWP on the cross. Looking for a second. Zitter don't do it. He just... You can see that barrel sticking out of the box there. So, Infused give up the round, and again it's going to be 4 spies from a Red Snake with the 5.7. Publiclir have AK-47s for themselves. And it's interesting that... It's always interesting to me to see the different playstyles of teams when they approach the T side. You saw... Although the economy hasn't really been supporting the AWP buy on the terrorists, they haven't really been opting for them. But Red Snake now in the corner, you always have to check that as terrorists. The first or second guy has to check that, especially when a smoke has landed. It's a 3-on-3, and there's Critical to pick up another kill for himself. That's 2 on the board thus far. He gets shut down from 4, and now Quicks is going for a peek at doors. Why would you do that with like 10 HP? That blows my mind. And that leaves Orr in a 1v2 that he really shouldn't be in. It's a 2v2, and he's gone peeking as well, trying to catch the CTs off guard. He goes for the pop flash. He's now going to go back in for seconds, and he gets the shot as well onto HUDG. Oh, everything that makes sense you can throw out the window for Publiclir. These guys are so entertaining to watch, but my god, are they frustrating at times. It made no sense for Quicks to peek that, and saving Publiclir was Orr's brilliant 1v2 clutch. And a lot of that was down to the timing of his peak as well. He just completely caught the CTs off guard. And that was nearly a nightmare in the making. Now Team Infused onto P250 and 5.7s. It was such a strange round there from Publiclir. Very sloppy indeed, but they get the round nonetheless. I've got to call it like I see it, guys. I've got to be honest as a caster. I feel that's my job. If I see something that's bad, I've got to say it. Team Infused, though, they are going to be pushing back in towards A, but there's Orr just camping in the lurker flanker role. Kinder now with the P250. It's such a strong weapon. He's looking for a second kill. All needs to be careful. With just 3 hit points to his name, he's 1 shot away from death. Pushing onto the site, but Kinder is here. Has himself 31 bullets remaining on the P250, 13 in the chamber. Or in the magazine, I should say. You can't stack 13 rounds in the chamber. That's ridiculous. Scrubcaster, report me, thanks. 40 seconds. And the terrorists are coming through long. With 30 seconds, they've got to get a move on. They can't afford to play this one slow. They're going to make a lot of noise. It's like 2 elephants stampeding towards the site. It's going to allow Team Infused to know exactly what's up any second now. 20 seconds down the timer. And CT still don't know what's coming for them. They've got a player on short in the form of HUDG. And Kinder is coming up from CT spawn. That bomb has been planted. Now all of the pressure is on the CTs. Dominate on site. In smoke. Can't see anything. It's enough to choke on. And he's going to be... Oh my goodness. He's going to have to rely on his teammate who does get the shot. Kinder should have had that kill. Or had 3 HP and he missed that first one. I thought that was his death warrant being signed by himself. Both the terrorists are 1 bullet away from death. That's the first one, but HUDG has no defuse kit. He can't hope to defuse this bomb, and he has to back away with the AK-47. Another strange round goes in the hands of the Swedes. 11-13 now. Could you imagine that? 13 bullets stacked in the chamber, the gun would like explode. So there is now an AWP on the side of Dominate, so it's just a case of the economy not favouring Publiclir enough to use it. We saw Dominate using it on the CT side as well. Pushing in, and they're going to be walking into the meat grinder. CT's holding fast. There's 2 frags in quick succession from Kinder, but all replies back. And the last 3 CTs are on A, or CT spawn. So, the bomb carrier of Or knows that he can just walk onto this site and get that planted. And Hadget now in mid is doing work, gets himself 2 frags on the board. Aaron, last remaining player, has spotted Hadget through the double doors. Is he going to push that? Not just yet, and Aaron, who had a fantastic map on Cash, is now 10 for 18, rock bottom of the CT side, so it's unfortunate for him and Team Infused. He needs to start stepping up here, and I thought that may be the platform for him to do just that, but he gets dropped in the window, and the 25th round goes the way of the Swedes, and now they find themselves only 1 round behind the UK team, plus a Romanian, which is Kinder coming in, for TSAC, I believe. That's 5 rounds in a row as well, and I asked you guys at about 12-7, 13-7 I think it was, who you thought was going to win this game. Resoundingly, everyone came back with Infused. Now we're at 12-13, guys. Do you want to change your mind? Would you like to change your answer? Let me know in the chat what you guys think. Quick stop, with that kill onto short, that may put some doubts in the mind of people that did vote for Infused. Now they find themselves a player down, and that bomb's going towards A. Quicks with the second kill as well. These entries are just proving to be invaluable. Dominate from behind onto Aaron. He was definitely not expecting that. And now again the C off this bomb explosion. They're happy enough to keep the weapons. Kinder probably should have been fragged there in window. Got caught from behind. And Red Snake goes for 1. There's Quicks with another kill. He's picked himself up 3 this round. 2 of them were huge entries. The other one an exit frag. Red Snake's flashing through. Quicks is pushing. You do not want to be going up against Quicks. Red Snake does want to be going up against Quicks and gets the upper hand onto him. Gets a second kill as well. Oh, just too slow on the trigger. He was actually on for his ace, strangely enough. And Or takes him down and picks up 13th round. You can see that the economy from Publiclir, they were happy to chase in for those weapons because they could rebuy whatever happened. And Team Infused desperately wanted to save 2 assault rifles, and instead they're onto 5.7 P250s. What's my name? I'm Metis, and I think I'll be casting quite a lot of these hitbox tournaments. I think there's plenty coming up. There's another best of 3 after this, which is LDLC White up against C-Play, if memory serves me correctly. That's a best of 3. But we're still in this game, and Team Infused are letting things slip somewhat. First map went to Publiclir, so in this best of 3, if Publiclir win this map, they've won the entire thing. Infused have to dig in deep. They could find themselves going behind for the first time in a very, very long time. I actually think we're looking towards the very first round is the only time they were behind in this matchup. They were 1-0 behind and it was like 1-7 to them. And they're losing players left, right and centre. That grenade lands by the feet of Hud's G. And now Critical. Oh, can he land any USP headshots? That's the only way they're going to get this round. And nope, he gets headshotted down himself. 14-13. And yeah, I'm pretty sure, I'm looking at the scoreboard now, it went 1-0 to Publiclir, then it was 7 rounds on the bounce to Infused, and since then they've always been ahead. And now, at the business end where it really counts, in the last 9 rounds on CT side, they've lost 8. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. And knowing the UK scene and some of these players, I wonder what their mentality is like right now. If they're going to be going on tilt somewhat. They've gone for the double AWP setup. It is definitely a viable tactic on Dust 2. Hudgy and Critical locking themselves in with the weapons, and there's Critical. Raining down onto Zitta, looking for the second frag. Quicks is up there on short, gets flashbanged. The CTs do have the opening pick, so I'd kind of like them to just back away and play deep now. And wait for the terrorists to come to them. Set up some crossfires. Force the terrorists to use their utility. And then get the frags afterwards. In doing so, they've left A a tiny bit vulnerable. And they've lost the player onto A as well. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. They've lost 2 players. If they just back away and play deep defensive, This could have been so much easier. Quicks with a ridiculous P250 insta headshot. Oh my goodness, Infused have just crumbled in the 28th round. I thought they had this. Dominate with 2 frags. Quicks with 1. Hatchet with 1. I think all had 1 as well. How do you spell my name? M-E-T-U-Z. So, saving 2 match points now are Infused with a couple FAMASs, no defuse kits, no armor on critical because he went for that forced up AWP last time around. And Publiclir are faking on B, I feel here, because they've not pushed just yet. There may be a case of waiting for the smoke to dissipate and then they can push in afterwards, but I half feel like unless they get a couple entries, they just got 1 actually, so I'll hold that thought. I was going to say that they may try and bait this and then go towards mid and try and push through short, which you do see some teams doing. The fact they got 1 entry could maybe just dangle that carrot in front of them on B. They've got 2 now, but I like this from the terrorist. Look where that bomb is starting to head towards mid. Very nicely done. There's Quicks with a frag. Here comes HUDG with the FAMAS and Aaron as well. A player who's been lacking somewhat on Dust 2. Infused desperately want him to get some kills in this 2v2 scenario. Hadget's down to 10. Bomb is still moving towards A. In the hands of Hatchet, who's very, very low. The T's need to come together now. There's no point split and mixing unless you can get the opening, and again they get it. This time it's HUDG who's on the receiving end of a battering. The smoke goes down. Hatchet's now pushing through tunnels, and Aaron is in a 1v2. No defuse kit, no grenades. But there is hope. Both players are low. Oh, he doesn't spot. Oh, he looks towards tunnels. All's below him, and that's going to seal this game, guys. 2-0 in the end to Publiclir, who looked dead and buried on Dust 2 for a large part of this map. And that's going to do it. 2-0. I'm kind of speechless. Both maps went right down to the wire. It was a pretty fantastic game. But we do have another best of 3 coming up, guys. LDLC White are up against C Play. And we're going to cut to a break and be back pretty shortly. Ruben, how long until the next match is it? So I can let these guys know. About 15 to 20 minutes, guys. So go get yourself some popcorn, a drink, go to the bathroom, whatever it is you need to do. And rejoin us very shortly for that second BO3. We'll see you soon.